travelers dream of experiencing the beauty of Tanzania, from its stunning national parks to vibrant cultural sites. Yet the costs often seem overwhelming. But with Visit Tanzania for Less, exploring this East African gem on a budget is not only possible, but incredibly rewarding. Whether you're a solo backpacker, a volunteer, or just a budget-conscious traveler, we provide valuable insights and resources to make your journey unforgettable without breaking the bank. Book your trip now with just a $300 deposit and flexible monthly payments until your travel date. For more travel inspiration and tips, follow us on Instagram or visit us at visittanzaniaforless.com. Visit Tanzania for Less, your dream adventure within reach.
Good afternoon. This is 103.7 The Beat. I am Melvin Burns, one of the hosts of Community Focus. Here again solo. My brother Gregory T is recovering. We hope he's well and back in the studio soon. But this is what we do at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoons. Today, we have two outstanding guests that are going to enlighten us on things taking place in our community and inform you. Before we do that, let's jump into the weather today. Today, 50% chance of rain, low 56, high of 78. Also coincides with one of my top 5 news stories. How about that storm last night and the residual effects this morning? Saturday, 55% chance of rain, low 49, high of 57, so things will cool off a bit. Sunday, partly cloudy, low 46, high of 58. Monday, low of 40, high of 64. Tuesday, low 45, high of 60. Wednesday, low 46, high 59. And next Thursday, low 47, high 56. So enjoy that sunshine today. We may not see it for a few days. That is our weather for today. How about our top 5 news stories? And I'm going to start with number 1. Tornado warnings, thunderstorms, rain, a tremendous lightning storm. I'm without electricity at home. I don't know about you. I think I saw somewhere close to 200,000 people were without, I believe in just West Michigan, were without power. We struggled through last night. Haven't gotten an update recently, but and where I live, they're telling me maybe not till tomorrow night. I'm hoping they update that. But hopefully you survive the storm without too much damage and you still have your utilities on. President Trump is still trumping his way through the Middle East, and all that includes him taking credit, him taking gifts, and all that goes along with our 47th president and his entourage. Yesterday, 2 days ago, the Consumer Confidence Report came out. There has been a 2.7% decline in the consumer confidence level. This is just talks about how people feel about the economy, about their finances, investments. It is at its lowest rate since July of 2022. And generally what that means is people get apprehensive about spending money. They hold back on a lot of big ticket purchase items, appliances, vehicles. Just kind of waiting to see what happens in the economy. And that's kind of where we are in it. We're kind of waiting to see what happens. The NFL schedule released earlier this week. How did your teams do? We have a lot of Lions fans in this area. Looks like we still are on the Thanksgiving Day schedule against our rival and nemesis, the Packers. But how did your team make out with the schedule? You know, the NFL says their goal is to at least every week or to have people talk about the NFL 365 days of the year. And, man, they do a good job at it. You know, schedule release is a big deal. Draft day is a big deal. Opening camp's a big deal. They're getting pretty close to being a year-round headline news business, aren't they? Number five, not necessarily my story, but it's a big story. Chris Brown, the entertainer, is still being detained in the UK from an incident that happened in 2023. Not funny, but it seemed like most of the concerns yesterday were that he'd be released in time for, I guess, a tour he's doing in the United States later this summer. Don't know how that'll play out, but that is apparently big news. So that is our top five in no particular order. Let's get on to today's uh, program. My guest, you may call him Mr. Guy, you might have called him Pastor Guy, but we're going to greet him with his new title, recently hooded. Would you join me in welcoming to the program the Muskegon Heights Director of Public Works, Pastor of Corinthians Baptist Church, Dr. Reverend Kai Guy.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing,
Good.
boss?
I'm okay. It's good to see you today.
Yes, sir.
Good. We're going to talk a little bit about public works in Muskegon Heights, but again, I want to congratulate you on the hooding ceremony in down at Ohio last week.
Thank you. Thank you. At Payne Theological
Yes,
Seminary.
sir. A well-earned
I
honor,
appreciate
sir.
it.
And I say, should I add earned? Well-earned honor.
Yes. That is
Yeah.
it speaks for itself. That
Yes.
does.
Let's talk about public works. The storm last night. Were you guys out busy? Have you assessed much damage throughout the city?
Yes. So today was actually dump day, beginning of dump day. Dump
Oh,
day number
that's
one.
right.
So we end up having to kind of split the team. We put one of the guys that hung back, and he stayed at the base with Miss Rosia, and they kind of monitored that. So everybody at dump day had to dump their own stuff today.
Okay.
That came. They didn't have any assistance from us because we had about 10 or 12 trees down. Some are still down because they have electrical wires in. So we have one that's still down on Maffitt and Delanore. Also in the alley of between Leahy and Hoyt, right at Hovey, and
Okay.
that one still has. And then the all of them are dangerous, but the one that I fear, there's two that's really dangerous. One by Johnny O'Harris Park on German.
Mm-hmm.
The transformer is on the ground.
Okay.
And then by Jefferson and Oakwood, the wires are laying in the water. So,
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they were sparking when I went there, and just told the citizens just to keep calling. And I know that's going to get on their nerves, but
Yeah.
you got to keep calling consumers and kind of push them, because we don't have a direct connection to consumers like we do all the other utilities.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned, well, appreciate you guys getting out there and trying to keep folks safe, and you want to remind people to stay away from those down utility lines. And again, continue to call them in. Continue to do that. You can go online, or if you can get online, or just call the numbers for consumers and report those down utility lines. You mentioned dump day. Explain to people what dump day is and what's going on.
So in the city of Muskegon Heights, we have down at 3124 Wood Street, we have 5 dumpsters where you can bring stuff that's at your house, that's in your yard, that you want to dump. But we don't receive certain things like appliances. We don't receive paint and or roofing materials, those things. But most of the other things we keep. We take tires. We take tires with rims on them. We take dressers and beds and everything else. So you can come from 9 to 3 today and tomorrow, and then again next Friday and next Saturday.
Okay.
You can come and bring your trailers, but you have to be. We would like you to be a resident of the city of Muskegon Heights with
Okay.
proof of ID.
Okay.
And we'll take your name and your number and your address. And then you can bring as many loads as you want. We really don't care. We'd rather for you to dump them at DPW than in somebody's alley.
Yes.
So that's how we're doing it with dump day, and we have a team down there with the heavy machinery and help you unload sometime the things that you have on your trailer or in your trunk or wherever it may
Okay.
be.
So that's today and tomorrow,
Today and tomorrow.
and then next week also.
Next week Friday and next week Saturday.
Okay, well, good. Well, it's a tremendous opportunity for folks to clean out the garage, clean out the basement, and get those things off the curb quickly.
Yes, and we rather for them to dump it there, not in the alley, not on Keating, not on not down by the Omni. Just bring
Yes.
DPW, please,
Yes.
and it's free. So
Yeah, can't beat that price. Now,
can't
as a
be
DPW director, you have a lot of things under your supervision. Let's talk about you got Broadway torn up, you got Sanford torn up. Tell folks about these projects we have going, these street projects we have going on.
okay. So on Broadway, we're in our second phase. We're going to reconstruct Broadway from Getty to Glade or Glade to Getty, however you want to lay it out. And so now we're in our second phase from we're starting at Hoyt and Baker. I mean Hoyt and actually it was at Howden, and we're stopping at Peck right now. And then once we get all of that tore out and put back together, then we'll cross Peck and go from Sanford on down to 6.
Okay.
And we're doing some sewer main and some water lines while we got the street open, and we'll resurface Broadway, as well as at the same time at Rowan Park we'll be putting in a splash pad and some more entertainment spots at Rowan Park at the same time we're doing working on Broadway.
Okay. Now that's a separate project from what's taking place on Sanford and Columbia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So Sanford and Columbia, similar things we're doing as water main, reconstruction of some of the underground utility, and as well reconnecting the lead service lines into the citizens' homes that's connected on Sanford and Columbia all the way down to Overbrook. And so crossing Summit and a portion of Summit as well.
Okay.
And we're resurfacing that that road as well, those roads or streets as well.
Now, I want to make sure we get this clear for our listeners. When you talk about replacing lead service lines, that doesn't mean you have lead in your water in your home, does it?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. Since the crisis in Flint, the state of Michigan has been pushing hard and forward to prevent those situations from happening again. So, and actually it's federal now. And so what's happening is, to prevent lead being in the line, we're taking off the lead goosenecks and the lead piping that was there and redoing that and putting in different pipes from the street all the way to the house, or in the house for the in the house for the customers.
Okay. Now, in addition to Sanford and the Broadway projects, understanding you'll be doing lead service lines in other parts of the city this year as well.
We're doing lead service lines all the way through a lot through the city. Our projects by 2028, we should have only 500 lead service lines to do out of the 4,900 that we started off with in 2021. So we've been aggressively trying to get as many done as we possibly can. And so I think we have to 2037. It was a 10-year span to 2037 or 20 somewhere along there. But if we keep going the way we're going, we should be completed by 2029.
Yeah. And now to understand, these lead services are the responsibility of the homeowner, and the government just mandates them being done. But the city's been able to use grant and loan funding to pay for these as opposed to folks paying for them individually, correct?
Yes, and that's a good thing to know because each lead service line connection per home is about $10,000
Oh,
per home that
okay.
uh, the each homeowner would have to pay, and it's a mandate from the government. But at this point, the government is giving out money, and we've been able to secure uh, funds, grants, and low percentage loans
Hmm.
to be able to help our citizens take care of replacing their lead service line.
Okay. No, that's awesome. And again, um, congratulations to you all on accessing those dollars and sort of keeping the cost down for the rest of us.
Well, I don't want you. I don't want you to be so modest. Uh, I don't want you to be so modest because you played and play a big part of that and helping us secure the funds and helping us to um, direct them in the right way. So thank
Yeah.
you for being modest, but you are a big key to that and to the success of these projects.
Well, I appreciate that. One of the other things you talked about the lead service lines and water. One of the things under your purview, and you got a lot of stuff on your plate as public
Yeah,
works director. Um, Water treatment plant. We haven't. I guess it's a good thing. Water treatment hasn't been in the news a lot lately. Uh,
yeah.
Talk to us about water treatment plant, water system. What's going on there these days?
Well, you know that we are still under our consent agreement. So
Hmm.
with Eagle,
Yeah.
we've checked off mostly all the boxes. We're down to the home stretch. Our our plant is up and running. We have enough redundancy, and
Hmm.
that's the word that Eagle used for us. We
Hmm.
have enough redundancy to make sure that we're in compliance.
Okay.
We have enough staff at this moment to
Hmm.
be in compliance. Um, we have enough staff that's that's qualified with the right licenses.
Hmm.
We have what we call is a F1 plant. We can service up to 25 million gallons of water per day,
Okay.
and so with that, you have to have a F1 um, operator, and so we have that. And then we have several other, everybody now at the plant has at least an F4 uh, license.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. And you talked about being at a consent order. I understand it in the near future are going to be doing some more education with the public about the water plant and things going on there.
Yes, because again, one of the things is that when we had our SCADA system go down, people in our community thought that the water had lead in it or that
Hmm.
the water was poisoned because we had a boil water situation. But that was our water has never been tainted or contaminated, thank the Lord. But the we had to go by what the state mandates are when the system goes down.
Yeah, and I know every once in a while you get fed up and you and you hit Facebook, but you deal with some of the myths that people have about the Muskegon Heights water system. So I might hit you with a couple of these. First of all, where does the city of Muskegon Heights get its raw water from before it's treated?
Lake Michigan,
Okay, and where does the city of Muskegon get theirs from?
Lake Michigan.
In fact, if you could walk out the street, you could almost see the two
Oh,
plants. They're about 2 miles apart.
2 miles apart. If you're in a helicopter, you can see both of them at the same time.
Yeah. And now the next thing, in terms of the water, once it's treated, d- does this is the state aware of when we treat water and the quality of the water when we send it out?
Yes, we have to report the qualities and the testing of the water once every 2 weeks or once a month
Okay.
about how our water has been treated and what's going on with it. So we have to send those reports to the state every month.
Okay. And now the city's responsibility. for waters from the time we bring it into Lake Michigan? Where does our responsibility for the water in someone's home stop?
Um, it
When you
stops
say when they drink it.
when they drink it. Yeah,
Yeah.
when it comes out the tap.
But I think a lot of times, and I want to get well, people may have leaks in their homes, those kind of things. Where does the city's limit on responsibility there?
Well, it's if you have a leak in your home, that's your responsibility.
Hmm.
Um, even when it comes to the lead service lines, when it comes to uh, the your water bill, your toilet, all those things, those things are the homeowner's responsibility. And a lot of times people think it's the city's meter, or say that the city's misappropriating or stealing anything. But we have a new Neptune system that the system can let you know how long your water's been running, where how what times it was running. It'll Our meter reads every so many hours and so many days. It connects to it. So, um, and if you go by what the system says, most of the time you'll find out that you have some malfunction in your home system that has nothing to do with the city.
Hmm. And so for people to think, hey, you gave me this bill, but I didn't see the guy come by and read my meter. Explain to people how that process works now.
Well, so right now, we have 5 different checkpoints throughout the city, where whatever neighborhood you're in, and the AMI system can read your system. We don't have to walk around with the meter to read your system anymore. It's reading. Some of them are reading right now as we speak. But there are a few ones in the area that's difficult. But we'll get in the city truck and ride around, and we have another portable um, system that we can pick those reads up right in front of your house. So, or riding by, and it'll pick up by the time we get on your block.
Okay, sounds good. One of the other areas under your responsibility is Mona View Cemetery. Update folks on the cemetery. We know that Memorial Day is coming up, so update folks on what's taking place there and things they should know going to Mona View Cemetery.
I thank you for that. Mona View Cemetery is we normally don't open Mona View until Memorial Day, but we try to have it presentable by Mother's Day.
Hmm.
So we Mona View has become another uh, late night dumping area for people who would just bring their trash to the city of Muskegon Heights, or somebody that feel like they don't know where to dump it, and they'll dump at Mona View. Um, but we've gotten it almost presentable for Memorial Day right now. A few people have been up for Mother's Day and said it looks pretty good. So we have some contractors that go out and make sure it's clean, and then our team went and cleaned up the dumping from it last week, and so it looks pretty good. We got some touching up to do
Hmm.
uh, in Mona View. Um, and that's basically it for Mona View. But it's difficult to keep Mona View in clean, because we have people who break inside of the chapel, live inside the chapel. We have to put them out, break down the garage doors, move inside of that. They destroyed the green space where the flowers are being grown. So we just need the community to help us and see if they see some people kind of report what they're doing, so we can keep Mona View looking pretty good.
Okay. And as we get close to time, Mona Lake Park, Johnny Harris Park, um, getting close to park season. Will anything special or different taking place at the parks this year?
Well, the festival in the park is at Mona Lake this year.
Okay. Okay.
So that'll be coming up soon. We're at the ending part of having Mona Lake restrooms back together, so should be up by hopefully by Memorial Day. So the public restrooms will be there, and the boat launch is up at Mona
Okay.
Lake. We will have a kiosk
Okay.
in the upcoming months where we will have to use paper and pencil, and so everybody can use the app and go from the kiosk and pay, and then do whatever they need to do with their boats at the
Okay.
boat ramp. Johnny O Harris Park has been. We have a blessed donor and a person who keeps it, Mr. Larry Fife. He keeps up with, and all we have to do with him is support him. New basketball rims, the pavilion is done, new parking blocks, the restrooms are there, are new and up, and he painted all of those things. So he had support from Miller Knowles and different groups. So Johnny O is looking pretty good, and so is A Street Park. I was a little disappointed at A Street because we have some gazebos out there, and somebody took some of the tops off the gazebos, and broke one of the basketball rims. But we're looking at getting those things replaced, and they're all cleaned up, ready to go for football practice and just people spending time with their families out there.
Sounds good. Mr. Scott, we got a minute or so left. Anything particularly you want people to know about Public Works, or as summer's rolling around, any special things you want to make sure people know and understand?
I do. One of the major things is before you call Roto-Rooter or anything, if you have a backup, call us first because it may be in our system. So if it's in our system, we can go out and check it before you come and spend some money that you don't need to spend.
Okay. All right. That's good enough. And what's the number to DPW? I hesitate to ask you that.
Yes. I got so many numbers. Let me see. Well, call the water office and they'll get to it. So that number is 231-733-8885. 8885. Yep.
And everybody just call you, but I won't tell them that.
They do that anyway. So I think I'm easier to find than the DPW phone number.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Guy, anything else? Appreciate you joining us on the program today. Hope you guys stay safe out there and you're going to get all the debris up from the storm. We appreciate all the hard work you and the guys put into making our community better.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care now.
Yep. Bye-bye.
And that was Dr. Kai Guy, the Director of Public Works. And we appreciate him joining us. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back with our next guest.
The wait is over. The all-new Umoja Radio Network, home to over 40 Black-owned radio stations and podcasts, is here for you. Connect to the world's fastest-growing collection of unapologetically Black and proud media, from podcasts to independent Black-owned radio stations, and access to the important news and music you need. Umoja Radio is from our culture, by our culture, for our culture. The all-new Umoja Radio is available right now on Google Play and the Apple Store. Join the movement. Be empowered.
What's something people don't know about community impact? A simple donation could transport kids to the heart of Ghana, opening a world of possibilities. Since 2017, thanks to 103.7, The Beat and community supporters like you, dozens of kids have embarked on a journey of a lifetime to Ghana. This isn't just any trip. It's filled with learning, adventure, and joy. These kids are diving into a culture rich in tradition. They're learning about the world beyond their textbooks. This program educates and connects communities, building bridges. Your support can light up a child's life. It's an exploration of potential and a celebration of new friendships. Donate today at kidsfreetriptoafrica.com. Every donation matters. Please donate today. at kidsfreetrip to Africa.com. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Community Focus. I'm in the studio now with a wonderful guest I've known for many years. I want to introduce to you, we used to call her Shantae, now we call her Doctor, as they say. Dr. Shantae Jenkins, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, and especially after that spotlight, that community spotlight
Yes.
On Africa and education.
Yes.
So I'm honored to be coming behind such a prestigious program.
Yes. Well, for folks that don't know, and they're from Muskegon Heights, they should know. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell our guests who you are?
I'll be happy to do so. Thank you, and thank you for having me. I am born and raised Muskegon Heights. I am a proud product of the Muskegon Heights High School system, class of 1983.
All right.
1986. My husband is 83. And what I had in my mind is anybody that went to Heights, we always said that was the best class. So yes, I'm class of 1986. And as I say, born and raised right here in Muskegon Heights, and I have dedicated my my life's work in terms of education and the advancement and advocating in the field of education to Muskegon County. I'm proud of Heights, but to Muskegon County, and I'll talk more in terms of my role and how the Lord has blessed me to grow the work that I have been blessed to do. But I serve as the director of our Central West Michigan region for Grand Valley State University's Omni division.
Okay.
And as I said, being born and raised right here, it has allowed me to give back to the community.
Yeah.
And so as director of Central West Michigan region, I am responsible for supporting 5 colleges that's within that region.
Okay.
And that's the enlargement of the footprint.
Okay.
So
awesome.
that includes Muskegon Community College,
Okay.
Grand Rapids Community College,
Mm-hmm.
West Shore College, extends up to Delta College, Montcalm, and Meade, Michigan.
Okay.
And so building out those relationships, it's about building out pathways for transfer students that's want to go to college, and some students may not have the ability to move from one location to another to go to college. And so through the Omni division, which stands for all, we have 4 directors that's over the state of Michigan that's branched out. As I said, I'm Central West.
Okay.
There is someone that is Central East on Detroit side. There's the Southwest that covers many of the areas through the Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, and other areas. And then there is the Northern, which goes up into the Traverse City area. And so as we've stretched out throughout the state of Michigan, we've stretched out to leaning in on online degree programming, which is an avenue for reaching all students.
Okay. And we've really seen that relationship change. And I'm sure in the time you've been in education between the community college and four-year colleges and other opportunities, whether it's online for people to continue their education and earn degrees, haven't we?
We have seen that change. Real short and quick, pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, I had.
It's kind of like saying BC and BC and AD, and it would say pre-pandemic. Yep.
Yes. Pre-pandemic, I was located at Muskegon Community College, which is where I am located currently today.
Okay.
And for those that's not familiar with Grand Valley State, Grand Valley has 3 different locations that's based here in Muskegon.
Okay.
We have the water resources that focuses in on the research of the water. We have the hub for businesses.
Okay.
But where I'm located at Muskegon Community College, we have always focused on degree attainment.
Okay.
And so pre-pandemic, we offered a number of degrees here locally in the Muskegon area through Grand Valley State as a partnership extension with Muskegon Community College, where students could get that 2-year degree. And then those that wanted to stay locally, they could go in person right here in Muskegon through Grand Valley and achieve that 4-year degree.
Okay.
That was pre-pandemic.
Okay.
The pandemic came along and it shifted some things. And so now, over the years, Muskegon Community College, MCC, they did some restructuring. Grand Valley did some restructuring. And so there was a space of time where I was actually not even on the college campus area.
Okay.
And so I was, out in the community a lot. But now, as of this past March,
okay,
I am now back at Muskegon Community College.
Okay.
So those that have had relationships with me, I am back, and I
you said it with a smile, like you enjoy being back there.
I do.
Okay.
I do. This is home.
Okay.
This
Yes.
is home, and MCC is home. That's where I got my 2-year degree.
Okay. All right.
So I am a proud graduate of Muskegon Community College. I'm an alum, and I have office space there again, and we are now working. Now we're in post-pandemic. We're working hard now to get degrees back in place for students in Muskegon County to be able to take advantage of completing a degree locally.
Okay.
So that's post-pandemic now. Now we're moving the needle in terms of being able to offer degrees through an online format.
Okay.
And pre-pandemic, we were not big on online degrees for Grand Valley State.
Okay.
So that is a change.
Okay. Okay, good. What are some of the things, I know you preach higher education. What are some of the things that you find you can't say enough that people need to know?
Oh, get a degree, get some college, get a certificate. I can't say enough about equipping yourself for today.
Okay.
We live in a society that is designed to leave us behind.
Okay.
And I cannot say enough about equipping ourselves. It does not matter the skin tone, but equipping ourselves as a people with an education, with a credential, with some experience that is not going to leave us behind in the day that we're in. I'm not on here to talk about politics, and I'm not going to shift in that direction. But what I will say is that we all live in our community, and we see things that's being cut off. We see programs that's being eliminated. In the higher education realm, we're seeing funding that's leaving us.
Yes.
And so I cannot say enough in terms of make sure that you're not left behind.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. I always would tell my daughter, don't take away people's excuses to not give you opportunities. Well, we'd love to do this, but you don't have this certification. You don't have this degree. It's like, if it's something in your control, remove that excuse away from them. So I like that. It's a challenge. People need to not get left behind. And the world's changing fast. It changes. So being prepared and being ready. It's good. I want to ask you this. Our program, we talk about the work you do, but we also like to inform the community. We'd love to have guests on that are just in our community. And so hopefully there's students. We know students listen to the program. There's parents listening. Tell people about your educational journey from Muskegon Heights to today, the esteemed Dr. Jenkins.
I would love to tell this story.
Yes.
The first year I graduated out of high school in '86, I went on to a college that you have to be a little bit older to recognize it, and that was Muskegon Business College.
If you Google it, you'll find out what it is.
if you Google it, I'll say Google it, but it's called today Baker College. So being in my first year there at Baker College, that did not work out successfully for
Okay.
me.
Okay.
And I wound up dropping out in my first year.
Okay.
And as a dropout, I was also pregnant and engaged. And I love to tell people my story because I called the engagement off.
Okay.
I kept the child, and I found that being on, here's another one. If you Google this one, the Department of Human Services, that's something different today.
Different name, yes.
And
Uh-huh.
so, being one that was on DHS, I found it very limiting in terms of financially. I had $8 every 2 weeks to live off of. I'll say it again because
Wow.
you may think that you heard something wrong in the program. I had $8
Wow.
every 2 weeks to live off of.
Wow.
And so, coming from a family that was not government dependent,
Mm-hmm.
I quickly got myself back into school as soon as my son was eligible to go to Head Start.
Okay.
And I got myself into college, Muskegon Community College. And at that time, I was laser focused because I had, as the young people say today, life was lifing.
Yep. Yeah.
I had some experience under my belt, and I knew that I needed more. I knew
Okay.
I needed to give my son more.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna fast forward this, but I went to MCC and I got I walked into the office of Grand Valley State University where they were offering advising. There on campus. I took advantage of the advising and was offered a position to be, and that I became a student worker.
Huh.
I did so. Student worker means that I'm not hired into the university, but I am a student. I'm going to school and I'm working on campus.
Okay.
And so I took I was excited. I took the position, and after the first semester, which is 15 weeks, I was offered a position to work for a minority grant program.
Okay.
And so I went to work for that program. And so that allowed me to finish my associates at the community college. I transferred on to Grand Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And while working as a single parent, working through Grand Valley State here in Muskegon, I went to school at nighttime, and I achieved my double bachelor's in management and marketing. So I got a business degree.
Okay.
And from there, I went on and I got a master's in public administration.
Okay.
I was still single at the time.
Okay.
Still single parent.
Mm-hmm.
Son was doing good. He was enrolled in school, and he was one of the star athletes playing on Muskegon Public School, Muskegon's football team at the time. And so we had a busy life.
Yeah.
I graduated with my MPS and my master's in public administration, and then I said I want to go on, and so through Grand Valley I got another degree which was called an EDS.
Okay.
That was an education specialist, and that put me halfway to my doctorate degree.
Okay. All right.
Now you didn't hear me say I took any breaks.
Okay.
So for all these students that's going to college, you didn't hear me say I took a break.
Okay.
I kept going.
All right.
You heard me say I was still a single parent.
Okay.
And so when I finished my EDS, that's when I finally said, I need a break.
All right.
Because I said, I've been at it. And so I did take a break. And at that time, I still was single. And in taking this break, I finished that EDS that got me halfway to my doctorate. And I got married and was out of school for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you see those MS cross off, MISS cross off, MRS cross off, DR doctor, that's me.
You've been all of them.
I've been all of them.
And I'll say this, I find this, I go to the schools and talk to young people, and when you tell me a story, you tell me degrees, they almost look at you like, now where are you from? And I'm sure you get that when they get Dr. Jenkins. You're from the same streets in this community we're from. Talk to them about family, faith, Muskegon Heights ethic, and how that's brought you to where you are today?
I sure will. I have a village,
All right. Yeah.
and coming up in Muskegon Heights, my maiden name is Watson, and the Watsons were very known.
Mm-hmm.
I came up. I am the 11th out of 12th child from my parents, Virgil and Earlene Watson. And in this blended world we're in today, there was 13 of us.
Mm.
So I fell in number 12 as the baby girl. And so coming up, there was an emphasis that was put on family in terms of, I come from a 2-parent household. My father was disabled, so he was always around, and he was the security guard. He was the enforcer.
Uh-huh.
He was the last say.
Uh-huh.
And what he did not permit was the 2 daughters that was at home was for us to feel free to move about the community.
Okay.
We didn't have that. We had a short leash,
Okay.
a short rein.
Uh-huh.
And so for those that's within this community, I grew up on Baker Street, and we have a proud
Yes.
legacy of Baker Street.
Yes, yes.
And next to us was we were sandwiched in between one uncle that was on Maffitt. He was known for the paper route. He had that on lock.
Uh-huh.
Baker was my dad, and he had the boxing, so he was known.
Yeah.
We were known for the boxing family.
Uh-huh.
And then you moved over to Leahy Street, the very next street over, and that uncle, my Uncle Tommy,
Uh-huh.
he had the taxes on lock. And so we were permitted to move between Maffitt to Leahy.
That was it.
That was it. That was it.
From about Hackley to about Sherman. That was it. Huh?
That was it. That was it.
Yes.
And
yeah.
so growing up in the community, there was
Mhm.
there was quite a bit of pride in terms
Yes.
of family,
Uh-huh.
and everybody knew your family that you were from. So it was not you're going to get somebody told. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to get somebody told. You know, I noticed the airways, but you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And so that was the community that I
Yeah.
grew up in. We were, when one person made it, we all made it.
Yes.
We were, and I'm going to say we still are.
Yes.
I don't live in the Heights, but I'm still proud of
Yes. Yes.
those from the Heights.
Yes. And I say that, so again, and again, of course, I know you and your husband, and
Mhm.
I've been following your journey here, and I talk and catch up. And so, I tell students this now: there haven't been enough of us to earn bachelors and masters and doctors that we take it lightly. And so, I do want to celebrate you today. And people gonna hear me say, "Well, hey, keep bitching, she got a doctor," because it matters. It matters to your family. It matters to our community, and it matters to the students that you come across and their kids that know from the same place, and helps us relate to them and say, no, it's maybe they get tired of saying this, but you know what? If we can do it, you can do it. You share your story of overcoming some hurdles. Single Black woman with a child. You're not supposed to be sitting here today as Dr. Jenkins, except you have all those other things. Family. Community, your faith, that kind of rise you above what stats say you should be. And so we're gonna celebrate that and talk about it like we should.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
I have been told twice between the 2 and the 3, but I have been told by other Black people from the doctors from the
Uh-huh.
community, welcome to the 2% club or the 3% club, because to your point, there are so few Black doctors.
Yes.
So I've been welcomed to that very, very small, prestigious club with only either it's 2 or 3%. I don't know the stat, but that's what I was told. And I want to give a shout out to my husband. So thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Cedric Jenkins.
Yes.
I appreciate him as well, because not only do I have my doctorate degree, but he is very studious as well.
Yes.
The Lord has blessed him,
Yes.
with his master's degree, and that's something that also, it is rare,
Mhm.
to see
Yes.
Black men going on
Yes.
achieving degrees as well.
Yes. And for folks that might, we had to say things plainly for our people. We find y'all around just the event community. We'll find your church on Sundays. You might not always be dressed like this, but we're gonna see. So if you think it's hard to reach her, if you run to anywhere, she's gonna talk to you the same way. And so again, that's important for our community to know. You don't stand on a pedestal and have people come bow down to you, but you're approachable and reachable in the community. That's important for people to know that.
I appreciate that, and I do try to be.
Yes.
I'm an advocate for education.
Yes.
And
Yes.
advocate means that this is my passion. This is what I fight for. And as Mr. Burns just said, wherever you meet me, I can never go into the grocery store and come right out.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Well, my oldest son, he would hate to go places with me.
Yeah.
He said, "Give me the keys, Mom. I'm going to the car."
And then they say, "Do you know everybody?" So hey, that's just how it is. Yeah.
In church, I would have notes passed to me, and ask me a question. I want to get back in school.
Well, that's good.
And I appreciate you saying that, because I try to be approachable, because, as I say, I'm an advocate. This is what I fight for. This is my passion. I want us to be an educated group of people.
Yes.
The Bible says, because that's my spiritual hat, because I never take that one off.
Yes.
I've attained what I've attained through the help of God.
Uh-huh.
But my spiritual hat says that my people they perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
So we have to have knowledge if we're going to sustain in today's time.
Yes.
Perish means that they die.
Yes.
We don't want to die.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't, because life has overtaken us, and we do not have the right tools to equip us.
Yes.
To ride through this journey.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say this too, as we talk about education, and even when we say higher education, we're talking not just about bachelor's and master's degrees, but there are also community college at Grand Valley, other certifications that people may need even for their trades, right?
Thank you for saying that.
Yes.
So yes, there is. Right here locally, Muskegon Community College, they do offer certificates for students. There's trade programs, so there is various certificates. But Grand Valley also offers certificates for students as well, and that's something that people probably do not know.
Okay.
So at one point in time, people just looked at Grand Valley in terms of it being, a 4-year degree institution or master's degree institution, and some doctoral degrees. But Grand Valley we offer certificates for students, especially for those, and particularly those that's they're in their career path, and they're looking to I like to say level up.
Okay.
To gain some more experience in a particular area. We call it pivoting, that you're in one place, but you're trying to career-wise move to another place.
Okay.
So we do offer certificates for people to be able to take to get that experience. And they're not certificates that take a long time for you to do. They're actually some of them you take like 4 classes, 12 credit hours, and there's 6 credit. There's 6 weeks long.
Okay.
So we have students that get certificates in sometimes a year or less.
Okay.
So that is
Awesome.
something. Thank you for saying that.
Sure.
That is something that is available to students. The certificates, they're online. So you don't have to leave out of your comfort zone. We've even had people that's out of the country that have taken certificates through our certificate program. And so I will mention the program for those that's wondering. We have an acronym. We call it LEADS.
Okay.
And underneath our LEADS with integrative studies, we do offer certificate degree programs.
Okay. For folks that are listening today and they heard you talk, how can they reach you at your office, phone number, email, or Facebook or website?
You can reach me. Phone number is 616-331-6429. If I said it too fast, 616-331-6429. If I'm not available, leave a number because that is my direct line. You can leave a message and I will return your call. If you prefer to reach out to me through email, that's going to be a combination of my last name and my first name together.
Mhm.
So it may sound like I'm speaking a foreign language, but this is my email address. My name is Shawn Jenkins, and so my email is going to be J for Jenkins, ENKIS for Shawn, HA at G for Grand, B for Valley, S for State, U for University.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want to, you're wearing blue today, but you wear pink and green, right? What?
Pretty in pink
Pretty
and
in pink.
gorgeous in green.
Shout out to my Alpha Kappa Alpha sisters from the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha. Want to make sure we get that in there. All right.
I saw that license plate coming in.
All right. Look, it's been a pleasure having you on the
You as
program
well.
today,
Thank
having the chance to talk and catch up. And I'm gonna give you a chance. Any final thoughts you want to throw out there to our audience before we wrap up?
I just want to thank 103.7 The Beat for this opportunity, this community spotlight. I did not see this coming. And so I do appreciate the opportunity to talk about the work that Grand Valley is doing here in Muskegon. And keep your eyes peeled and reach out to me. Come out to the community college. I want to see you. Come out there. And I see the little Facebook. I see
All
that
right.
now. So
Yeah.
come on out, and thank you all for listening. And so, yes, thank you.
Folks, this has been community focused. You know, we had little Kai Guy, the preacher's boy from over there on Hoyt Street. Now Dr. Kai Guy. We had that little Watson girl from over on Baker Street, you know, Virgil daughter. Now Dr. Shawn Jenkins. That's what we love about this community. We have educated, informed people, and they're contributing and giving back. And we want that to be you as well. So you can catch this program on Facebook. You can catch it on 103.7 The Beat, our Facebook page, Community Focus. We want you to be informed, we want you to be educated, and we want you to be inspired by some of the people we present to you. So thank you for joining us. To my brother, Gregory T., I need you to get well and get back in this studio. To Paul, Big Rob, Lady J, I appreciate the opportunity you guys give me. You make me look good and sound good. Thank you for opening up this forum to educate our community. Look, it's a beautiful weekend, even though a few people may be struggling out there. Find an opportunity to go out and be a blessing to somebody. Be blessed.
The wait is over. The all-new Umoja Radio Network, home to over 40 Black-owned radio stations and podcasts, is here for you. Connect to the world's fastest-growing collection of unapologetically Black and proud media, from podcasts to independent Black-owned radio stations, and access to the important news and music you need. Umoja Radio is from our culture, by our culture, for our culture. The all-new Umoja Radio is available right now on Google Play and the Apple Store. Join the movement. Be empowered.
Everything going